Hello guys and girls, episode 29 Gothic 2, Night of the Raven. We're in search of Quarhodron, who incidentally is quite near from where we stopped last time. We'll get to him in a second. Till then we'll have to beat up some harpies, some black goblins, and that huge guy in front of us, that troll. Let's just make sure we don't die in the process though. No. Right, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Tricky customers, these harpies. Let's see if we can nail them down with some bolts first. No? Come on. You can do it. One of the things I don't like about crossbows is the fact that you're very slow in movement when you're handling them. There's a discrepancy between when you're dealing with bows and when you're dealing with crossbows. Sensibly slower. That's nice. So 2 shots, even though we're unskilled in crossbows, 2 shots were enough to get these guys out of our range. Now, next up on the menu, a couple of black goblins. I'd like to deal with those first before the troll. Roar. I think the troll will get stuck anyway. Yep. And one more black goblin. I think 3 black goblins and a warrior, right? Something like that. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Oh. Actually, the troll managed to climb on this ridge here. That's interesting. Usually he gets stuck. See ya. Now, I think we're done with the goblins. Seems like the troll is stuck anyway, he's just in a different place. I don't have that much trouble dealing with trolls. I just like to avoid their punches for now. Let's see how to best sneak up from behind, as we usually do. Miss me. Miss me, miss me, now you gotta die. And slap, 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 slap that ass. It's quite easier with the Orc Slayer. You just have to hit him 4 or 5 or 6 times compared to 999 times. Back in chapter 1 when we were wielding a nail club or something. Oh, that's more like it. Strength 1. Brilliant. Old stone tablet. Let's actually use that because we're maxed out in strength already. That should get us to 140 something. 150 actually. God damn. So with a few tablets and a few potions, we'll need dragon roots for that. We'll probably get to 160. If I'm not mistaken, the strongest one-hander in this game in Night of the Raven deals in 160. I'm not sure what are the strength requirements for it. Maybe it's 150 or 140. Could be 140. I seem to remember it being a or one-hander that Bennett helps you build if you're skilled in smithing. I think that's the one. And I think that's the strongest or one-hander you can craft. Just a bunch of nonsense. There was an armored zombie inside this crypt here. This is Quarhodron's crypt. It's not that difficult to find, except for when you're playing Gothic 2 for the first time. Interesting story. Speaking of that, I ignored this entire valley for 95% of my first playthrough in exploring Jarkandar, and it took me a while. Obviously, I wasn't using help or searching on the internet for tips. Not even sure I had internet at that time. It was so long ago. So yeah, it was very fun and entertaining finding this place. Finally, after exploring for a couple of hours. All we knew, come to think of it, is that it was somewhere in the west of the valley. This looks like it, but it's not signal anywhere on the map, except if you're trying to use that looks like a hole or a cave farther east from where we stand. Unless you're using that as a point of reference, you may ignore this place the first time you walk through Neither Raven. This armored zombie is interesting. I always thought of it like being a guardian left here by Quarhodron himself to guard this place. I mean, he left the trolls, black goblins, and harpies to guard this place. Maybe they just gathered here to recharge their batteries, who knows. Point is, Quarhodron's one of the more interesting characters in Gothic 2 and in the whole of Gothic, actually. One of my favorite NPCs, characters, or legends in the Gothic games. This is one of my favorite moments as well, when you summon him. Jahedra something. Akantar. Mixir, I think it was Mixir, gave us some summoning words to call him. Summoning Quarhodron.
Thorol, appear to me Quarhodron, ancient leader of the warrior caste.
It was always a bit funny the way that, right, we read those 5 words or something. He appeared after apocalyptic scream, and then the hero was just mumbling a few more words for no good reason. Appeared to me, even though he appeared 10 seconds ago. Anyway, Quarhodron, I seem to remember without the remaster mod, he didn't have Fernando's face. In Remaster Mod, he seems to have Fernando's face for some reason. I don't think this character model of a face fits Quarhodron. But anyway, I'm nitpicking at this point.
Why do you disturb my rest, Guardian? Tell me, what do you desire?
The land is plagued by earthquakes. We must do something, or the entire island will sink into the sea.
There is nothing left for us to do. The wrath of Adanos has fallen upon Jarkandar to punish the unbelievers.
Grant me access to the Temple of Adanos.
The temple will remain closed for all eternity. Thus did we in the council decide.
Someone has forced his way into the Temple of Adanos.
Nonsense. I myself sealed the door. It is impossible to pass.
Indeed.
Not impossible, man.
The praised wisdom of the ancestors is truly overwhelming.
A man of your standing does not speak to me thus. I cannot free myself of the impression that you are not the one you pretend to be. If you require my aid, you must first prove yourself to me. Answer my questions, so that I may be sure that I do not reveal myself to strangers.
No problem. We rummaged through the library of the scholars and we read all the tablets there. So I think we're good with knowledge, hopefully.
Ask away.
I am Quahodron, the old warlord of Jarkandar. You have woken me. To which caste of Jarkandar do you belong?
The Guardians of the Dead.
The abilities of a guardian of the dead would have allowed you to waken me, that is true. If you are truly the one you claim to be, you will be able to answer all of my questions. Except for one. Who once protected the people of Jarkandar from enemy attacks?
The Warrior Caste.
Who can give me a direct order?
The Priests.
Who brought the evil upon us?
The Warrior Caste.
Who has the final word in the Council of Five?
The Scholars.
Who alleviates suffering and attends to the ill?
The Healers.
Who seal the portal to guard the world from evil?
I don't know.
Good. I trust you and shall grant you my aid.
Alright, so these were the correct answers. Feel free to find this clip whenever you're stuck with answering Quahodron's questions. Actually, interesting FYI, when I decided to make myself a YouTube channel, first option of a username I've thought about was Quahodron, and then I settled on Krushak. Just an interesting bit.
Now listen here. A truly evil fellow has gained access to the Temple of Adanos. If you don't let me into the temple right now, it will probably be too late and everything will go down the drain.
That cannot be. The High Priest Cardiman and I are the only ones in Jarkandar who know how to open the gate to Adanos' temple.
Well, then your pal Cardiman must have blabbed. I'm telling you the gate was open. I saw it myself.
Well, there is truth in your voice. I shall no longer doubt your words.
I should hope so.
Take, then, the password. It is written on this stone tablet. Speak the words at the sealed gate of the temple, and it will open. My time is done. Alas, I can no longer help you. But remember, beware the chambers of Adanos.
And now comes my favorite line of his.
Wait, what about the chambers?
My strength is failing.
This one.
Farewell. We shall meet again in the realm of the dead.
And now yeah, that was legendary, man. I can't tell you how fascinated I was by this legend, this quest, and this character when I was a kid, when I was playing Night of the Raven for the first time. And it stuck with me, man. So that's probably why this is one of my favorite encounters, quests, and characters in all of Gothic. So Jahedra Akantar, I think, are the words you must speak at the entrance to the Temple of Adanos. I confused them with this summoning spell. And now, just to keep things immersive, we could go straight to the Temple of Adanos, where Raven is hidden. But instead of doing that, let's get back to the Water Mages and let them know that we've managed to meet Quahodron, found out how to open the temple, and to get further with our job here. Fighting Raven and stopping him from doing all kinds of bullshit. As a emissary of Beliar, seems to me that he's become one. And he has a powerful artifact of Beliar, which we must get our hands on. Wait, I have the pirate's armor, yeah. Just trying to avoid that guy attacking me for wearing the bandit's armor. That happens a lot, as you might have guessed. Right, so now Mix here first, because he's the one I find the hardest. He runs around a lot.
I've talked to Quarhodron.
Then you were really able to waken him from the realm of the dead? That's unbelievable. I am more and more amazed by these builders. Who knows what they could have achieved if they still existed today? What did the ghost say?
He gave me something that will let me get into the Temple of Adnos.
Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash.
Then go straight to Satyrus. He will certainly be interested in what you have to say.
Alright, dude. See you in, actually, in Corinus. In town. Because this is the last time we'll see him in Jarkandar. Once we defeat Raven, he'll get back to relieve Vatras of his duties.
Hey!
Riordian, we should tell him about the stone tablets and the mansions. Yeah, the mansions actually, yeah.
About the mansions?
Yes?
The orcs seem to be interested in the library of the scholars.
Do you think they can read the ancient language?
I don't think so, but who knows?
Perhaps you should make sure that they go away, nevertheless.
The House of the Healers is in the middle of the swampy area and is defended by many stone sentinels.
So it is still standing?
Yes, but I wonder for how much longer.
It pains my soul to see the witnesses of the past in this dilapidated condition.
The Mansion of the Warriors is being used by Raven as a hideout.
He made a good choice. It is probably the most secure fortress still to be found in this region.
There were a lot of mine crawlers in the House of the Priests.
Aren't these animals very uncommon for the area?
They certainly are.
By Adanos, curious things are happening in this area.
The House of the Guardians of the Dead is dominated by the power of evil. I think I have
Evil.
rarely seen so many zombies in one place.
That is unfortunate. The Guardians of the Dead were obviously the victims of their special skills. Their connection to the world of the dead damaged them greatly. I hope you were able to free them from their suffering.
Makes sense that we should find a couple of zombies in the Guardians of the Dead mansion. That makes
The
sense to
orcs
me.
will soon lose interest in this area.
What makes you say that?
Their leader is dead.
Let's just hope you are right. We really don't need disturbances of that sort right now.
To trigger this dialogue option, we just need to kill the leader of the Horde, Orc, outside the library. We've done that a while ago with the aid of the pirates. We had a raiding troop.
I found all of the mansions.
Were they all where they said they would be?
More or less.
Very good. Then my work was worth it. Thank you.
No, thank you. And now, lastly, Satyrus. He should be very interested in
Hey, you!
what we found out about the relics.
About the relics. What about this?
That looks good. Where'd you find that?
I found these tablets in a building to the south.
Ah, a tablet of the Guardians of the Dead. It was they who summoned the spirits of their dead. The builders' connection to their ancestors was very strong.
I found these tablets in a structure to the southwest.
Judging from the tablet, it has something to do with the housing for the priests of the city. The name of the highest priest was Cardamon. We don't know much about him.
This thing was lying in a building near the Great Swamp.
That would have been the House of the Healers. We don't know much about them. They seem to have been the first to disappear.
This piece was lying in a large building in a deep ravine.
That was the library of the ancient people. Apparently a tablet of the scholars. Many of the scripts we have found can be traced to the leader of the caste of scholars. Curiously enough, he did not leave his own name behind anywhere. Here is some gold as a reward.
Thank you
now
very
we have
much.
collected all the relics we need.
I wouldn't say the Library of the Scholars was in a deep ravine. Anyway.
The problem with the temple gate is solved.
Has his spirit spoken?
Yes, he has.
Then you know how to get into the temple.
Correct. And he also told me what is in the temple. He spoke of a mighty sword and the chambers of Adanos.
By Adanos, what fools we are. How could we have been so naive? The hints in the records. This sword can only be the Claw of Beliar. We must get through those chambers as soon as possible and take possession of the weapon.
Dude, where's my claw?
What are the chambers of Adanos?
We now know that the entrance is not the only obstacle that prevents us from entering the depths of the temple. In the temple itself, there are 3 chambers which are meant to deter all intruders. The colored relics of the builders are the key. Only if we gather all the relics and solve their riddles will we enter the inner sanctum of the temple. I don't know whether Raven was able to decipher the riddles of the temple, but if that is the case, we have a big problem.
So the game assumes that Raven, in order to get into the Temple of Adanos, needed to gather all, at least one piece of each colored stone tablet himself. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to decipher the traps you may find in the Temple of Adanos. Problem is, how did he know that there are traps? Did he visit the Library of the Scholars as well? Who knows? But it's safe to assume that he must have had one of each tablet. Otherwise, he couldn't have gotten in. So we know that he summoned Cardamon, the High Priest, and Cardamon helped him get into the temple. And we'll find out the rest.
What is the Claw of Beliar?
It is the incarnation of evil. Beliar himself created it. Whoever bears it possesses a terrible tool of destruction. The more powerful the bearer is, the mightier the power of the claw. Only someone who is strong of spirit and steadfast in his faith can withstand its spell. Now it is clear to me why the builders sealed off this valley. They brought this weapon of evil into their city and fell under its power. These arrogant fools destroyed one another out of greed. The cruelty knew no end until Adanos' wrath swept across the land and sank everything into the sea. Indeed, the creators of the portal did well to hide these things from the rest of the world. And what a tragic end for such a wonderful culture. Do you realize the urgency of our mission now? Raven is a strong fighter and is blinded by his lust for power. In his hand, the claw will be an instrument of destruction. He must not get the weapon, or we shall all be lost.
Oh, he already has it. But he's not stronger than my ice block spell.
What exactly do I do with the relics in the temple?
We know too little. However, it is to be hoped that you'll recognize their significance once you're in the temple. I'm sorry that I can't tell you more. It's all up to you now. Take the relics and make your way immediately to the temple. May Adanos be merciful and protect us all. Perhaps it is not yet too late. May Adanos protect you.
Alright. Let's take a nap. The most important thing to do before a huge fight. And a challenge. Taking a nap. This applies to real life. Of course. Let's put on our strongest suit. This sexy bandit armor. And proceed to the bandit camp. Oh, before we do that, do we have the scrolls we need? I've got 2 ice blocks. How about summoning? Not summoning, transforms. I'll need them later on. I have a snapper and at least a lurker. So 1 lurker, 1 snapper. You'll see not far into the future why I'll need 2 summonings. Not summonings, god damn it. Transform into lurker and snapper. It will be to cross the chasm near one of the mansions to get on the other side and grab some important tablets there. Unrelated to Raven though. Let's start with this, because this is the most important thing to do right now. Let's save first. and Jahedra Akantar on their ass.
Jahedra Akantar.
Yes, sir. Let's bring it. Alright, let's see if there's something to grab. I like the music and the atmosphere. One of the nicest tracks in Gothic 2, this one. The temple. I'm pretty sure this is restricted to this temple. It's not present in other areas of the map. Unless I'm forgetting something. I found out that the least a track of Kai Rosenkrantz is used in one of their games, the more I still like it. That's proof for the battle music in Gothic 3 with that annoying track that starts every time you encounter something, and that's going to be 1,000 times. Because Gothic 3 is full of monsters. Right, let's see if these tablets can help us. So we can see 5 switches. Eat bitches and punch snitches. I see Yellowstone tablet. I was against the decision, built the first trap, and only I know the correct doorway. Not interesting. Karimon devised the second trap, only he who follows the way of light. Nope. Purple. Also, Karhudran sealed out a gate with the help of Karimon. Neither of them survived. Only I remain till the tail. I hope that Redeemus rots for eternity. Yeah, Redeemus is still there. We, the last 3 leader, this is the most important one. This kinda helps you, but not... it doesn't give anything away. We, the last 3 leaders, remember that, 3 leaders of the Council of 5. So there are 5 switches here, and there's 1 switch detailing 3 people. Alright. And then have provided the chambers of the temple with traps. Alright, so this one looks like a trap, spike trap. And hidden the entrance so that the sword will never again see the light of day. Keyword, light of day. So, if you're like me and you like to read them from left to right, it's 1, 5, 3. We, the 3 leaders, some with traps, never to see the light of day. Open. Alright, that was helpful, but not very helpful. Perhaps something important in the hint got lost in translation from German to English. I don't know German that well, so I haven't ever played the German version, the original one. And now, speaking of hints that are not very useful, the next trap, we have 5 doors. Oh, let's deal with these guys first. We could avoid them. It's not imperative that you need to fight them. But I want the XP. And the stuff that's just lying around for centuries, probably. Now, 5 entrances, 5 ways to get our ass further into the temple. Standing from there. Let's look at them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from left to right. So, a stone tablet that we need to look at. Not this one. Don't think it's this one. I was against build the first trap, only I know the correct doorway. Right. So, it seems to be related. I never I obviously know which one is the correct one, but I haven't really found a solid logic behind this. So you have to look at the figurine on this back of the tablet. Has two triangles for eyes, a mid kind of nose uh, from one piece, not two, and without an inscription on it. And that's about it. Maybe you can look at the form above the head of the figurine just to figure out. But looking at all of them, this one has triangles for eyes, but it has a longer, and it has some drawings on the nose and the longer nose. This one has squares for eyes. We won't even look at it. This one has triangles, but it has some inscriptions. And it seems to be a smaller nose, maybe? I'm just picking at straws at this point, because it doesn't make much sense to me. This one has squares as eyes, so we'll ignore it. This one is the correct one. Mid-nose, triangle eyes, and yeah, that's basically it. That's all I got, man. Maybe someone more knowledgeable than myself can explain it better, but yeah, that's it. Next trap. So the way of light. Something with the way of light. Let's see. First of all, let's light up a torch, because that's a good idea when you read something about the way of light. Was it this one? Only he who follows the way of light to the end will reach the third chamber. Okay. This one you could tell only if you... by the way, let's save. Don't want to do this all again. This one you could just follow the steps, the squares that have a lighter shade on them. Those ones that look browner or more red, those will kill ya. So this is the logic, and very important. Don't go ahead. There's a skeleton there that might help you, and there's nothing here. So voila, that's it. Now this is the way to continue into the temple, but there are two side rooms here. These side rooms I've ignored for quite some time. There's Redeemus up ahead. So these side doors I've ignored for quite some time because I simply didn't know that you could press something and enter them, encounter a few stone sentinels who are guarding some important items, including potions, tablets, and who knows what else. So again, let's save. And let's try to deal with them, preferably one by one. Uh-oh. Let's not. Pum 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 pum. Alright, let's heal up a bit. I could have tried my luck with 2 or 3 of them. I could have even used the storm spell because I have a few. But I'd like to keep them for now. I might use the storm spell in that other room on the right. You stuck, buddy? Got quite lazy there at the end. See ya. Oh, just one left. Even better. Well, 2 left. These motherfuckers punch hard as hell. And they died all over my loot. Nothing here. Nothing here. We'll leave the chest for the end. Potion, rusty sword. Seem to remember them being at least one permanent potion here. Possibly a health one. We'll see. And some stone tablets. Valuable, very valuable stone tablets. Maybe even level 3. That was a long one. So one-handed 3, definitely very nice one. Life energy 2, elixirs, and some gold. Don't mind if I do. Highly encourage you to check out these rooms before you get straight to Redeemus and Raven. Very valuable loot. I like the music and the effects. Good job, Mr. Kai. Yet again. Very mystical and occult sounds. Let's put on a, whatchamacallit, a storm spell. Has a very long casting time, as you can see. And now I should be able to hit him, kill him in one hit. One after the other, one by one, they fall apart like toy soldiers. See ya! Yep, I remembered well that this is a very good tactic for killing the stone sentinels. One storm spell and then you're done, son. Only need to hit them one more time. Plus it's fast. And the storm spell only costs 150 or 125 or maybe 250. Definitely worth it if you're a mage or even if you're not a mage. I think if you're a mage you can learn the storm rune in chapter 3, and that's a very useful rune, especially for more than one enemy at a time. It's a good AoE spell, but what bugs me is it has a very long casting time, which is not as annoying as in Gothic 1, as every time someone bites you or someone hits you with their weapon, your animation stops. Strength 3. God damn. The strong get stronger and the rich get richer. Where's that sexy ass tablet? There we go. 156. God damn. Raven who? We'll make mincemeat out of that guy. Oh, and let's not forget these other tablets. One-handed combat, these I'll leave for later when we're done with one-handed learning. Life energy 2, definitely. Dex 1, definitely. Crossbow we'll leave for later, because we'll learn crossbow in the Valley of Mines. And now let's arm the ice block, which I always use on Raven, because why suffer? He has the Claw of Beliar equipped, and if you're unlucky and you get hit 10 times, twice by the Claw of Beliar, you're kinda donezo, especially if you're doing this in chapter 2, like I am. And this is Mr. Redeemus, who has Milton's voice of all people.
My spirit has been held captive for eternity. At last I am free.
And he has a skeleton's face.
The final chamber has been opened.
But the gate appears closed.
This is not the gate to the final chamber. This gate merely leads to the antechamber. The bearer has closed it behind him.
So Raven. He means Raven.
How do I open the gate?
Move one of the levers.
Anyone?
All of these levers open the gate.
Anyone? Any of them? I think it's what you meant.
Not all of the levers trigger the trap, right?
Yes, they do.
Uh-oh.
Your father built the trap. How would you know how it works?
Whoa, I can still hear the pounding of the hammers on the other side of the gate. After so long a time, the sword showed me revenge for my failure.
You mean you have seen which lever is the right one?
I have long forgotten it.
Think! Think, folks!
Think!
It was so long ago.
Fuck's sake. Think! This always makes me chuckle, the way that Redeemus gets hit by those spikes, even though he's obviously undead.
Wait a minute.
If you have the strength, sink it in the depths of the sea.
Oh, no, the fuck we won't. Sink it in the depths of the sea. Dex, one-handed one. This is this was probably one of Raven's helpers, which I'm sure he doesn't miss. It's just a means to an end for him. He left for dead right here. Now, some more, of course, some more stone sentinels. And again, let's save and proceed as planned. Should have at least one more storm spell, yeah. Do it for the XP, man. It's not easy to fight 6 of these all at once. Storm spell definitely makes this a cinch to pull off. Bum 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 bum. Right. Let's check for some loot first. Just some mushrooms. A mage's favorite dish. I think you can grab 550 somewhere along those lines, 550, 500 dark mushrooms in total, which would equate to 50 or 55 points of mana extra. For a mage, that's godsend. All right, let's advance. Advance, I say. Next up on our bucket list, Mr. Ravon, Mr. Crow himself. The Ore Baron from Gothic 1 was just one of Gomez's right hands, and now it has gone rogue. We still have Ice Block equipped. Yes, sir. Nice track.
Hey,
Look who has come. My master warned me that Innos would send his henchmen. But I had not expected that you would appear so soon. Well, since you were so quick, I shall give you a quick death.
you sold your soul to Beliar.
For a good price. I will command his armies as a general. And what about you? Do you know how much your soul is worth?
I'm only doing what has to be done.
Listen to him. You have sent me a humble servant, Inos.
Are you sure that I am a servant of Enos?
What? What are you saying?
Don't you consider it possible that I could be a servant of Adanos?
Nonsense.
Maybe I also serve Beliar, or only myself.
Well, in that case, you are not even a worthy opponent for me.
I've had it. Let us begin.
Are you in such a hurry to die? Well, since you insist.
And now, one of the most disappointing battles in game history. Well, sorry, I didn't make that more interesting. We got the claw, and Raven had some beer, obviously. A silver ring, just jewelry, and assets of healing, and one of each. These stone tablets, just like I said a few minutes ago. And that's it. One of the most anticlimactic moments in Night the Raven. And it's synonymous with the end game in Gothic 2 Night of the Raven, because there's nothing stopping you from never visiting this place ever again in your gameplay. This is the end of it. You could come here in each chapter to find out some more spawned creatures, but that's it. I really dig Raven's armor though, and I'm disappointed they didn't implement it somewhere in the game. Very nice. I mean, there's no way of you allying yourself with Beliar in Gothic 2. Not in the slightest. So probably that's why we don't get our hands on Black Mage or Black Warrior armor, whatever it's called.
I did it. Raven is finished.
That means you've given Beliar a swift kick. Then you'll be moving on.
My job in this valley is done. I could use a few days' rest.
Yeah, you're constantly on the move, aren't you? Have a good journey.
Who
Thanks,
knows?
man.
Maybe we'll run into each other again.
Who knows? There will be lots of gates and passages for you to go through. And you're bound to find me on one of them.
Yep. Let's get back to the mages and tell them the good news. Oh, and before we do that, let's check out the weapon. Where is it? This is it. Two-handed weapon, even though it becomes whichever handed weapon you want and you're stronger in. For example, we are 29% one-handed, 24% two. So that will make it a one-handed weapon. And if you increase and surpass your one-handed with two-handed, it will become a two-handed, as far as I know. So that's one of the many advantages
The earthquakes have
of it.
stopped, and as I can see, you're still among the living.
Yes,
Does this
sir.
mean that your mission was successful?
Yes, Raven is dead.
Then it is over. Thank Adanos. You have done well, my son. We're deep in your debt. You have snatched a powerful weapon away from evil and restored the balance in this part of the world. When the earthquakes died away, we discussed what should happen now, and we have reached a conclusion. Go and take the Claw of Beliar. May it be yours to bear from now on. In your hand, it may prove a mighty ally for us. Use it wisely, my son. May Adanos help you. We shall remain here and see to it that the temple is restored to its old brilliance. Only Mixar is already on his way to Corinus to support Vatras. Vatras has been alone in the city for too long.
Poor guy, he's just a lone wolf.
I have taken the Claw of Beliar.
The Claw of Beliar is a very special weapon. It has its own will and consciousness. You, who now possess this mighty weapon, are its lord and master. It is a part of you, and will adapt itself to your capabilities. However, it will not do that of its own free will. Only Beliar himself can force it to obey you.
And why should Beliar help me?
Only a prayer to Beliar can achieve that. But be careful. Beliar is malicious. If you arouse his wrath, then he'll let you feel it.
I see. What can I do with the weapon?
That lies in your hands. You've conquered the weapon, and you are now its master. I can only recommend to you what you can do with it. Either you give it to me, and I shall see to it that it can do no further harm, or you put its power to use and wield it in battle.
You can bet your ass I'll keep it for myself.
Couldn't you keep the weapon safe?
If you give it to me, then I shall render it harmless, so that it can no longer be misused. So consider well what you will do.
What will you do now?
We shall stay here and help the temple regain its former glory. All too long have its walls been in this lamentable condition. As far as you are concerned, my son, I am glad to see that I was not mistaken about you. You are the preserver of the balance. There is no longer any doubt about that. Without your courage and strength, the island of Corinus would have drowned. We thank you and will honor you in our thoughts. Devote yourself now to the other tasks that lie before you, and return this world to balance and peace. Now go and fulfill your destiny, Preserver. Our prayers will be with you.
Alright. Just be careful that if you choose this option, you'll give the Claw of Beliar to Saturus. You'll get 2000 XP, I think, but it's gone for good. There's no way for you to get it back. Believe it or not,
May Adanos protect you.
yeah. Believe it or not, I don't have such a long and detailed experience with the Claw of Beliar. Only a couple of times when I played Night of the Raven, I've actually kept it and wielded it in battle, because I'm not sure why. It's overpowered, and I prefer to challenge myself and just use whatever other weapons I could wield. Because it's very OP, even in Chapter 2, even in Chapter 6, it's an endgame sword, basically. Because you keep improving it at Beliar's shrines. Right now, chance of extra damage doesn't say anything, but we could... Let's just demonstrate this. First, let's talk to these other guys to see if they have something to say.
I've activated another one of the teleporter stones.
The last
You
one,
have
actually.
done really well. I can only congratulate you on your work. They're all working again now. An impressive sight, don't you think? Here are a few gold coins.
Cold groins. Alright.
Hey, you!
Riordian, buddy. Nothing. What about Kronos and Nefarious?
The trip through this portal is safe?
I haven't had any reservations so far.
Brilliant. And Kronos.
Hey, you!
Let's deal. I can buy this, and even this. What? You still have Storm. Nice. Why is my Orc Slayer unequipped? The hell? I could have sold it for Pete's
Hey,
sake.
you!
Let's deal. Sell, 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 sell. Definitely not sell. Let's do that some other time, actually. Now, let's try to improve our Claw of Beliar at least once. Before we do that, though, there's a shrine not far from the Hermit. Let's just change clothes. Don't want to get attacked by that genius. To Valley. Alright, so the one of the shrines of Beliar I always remember. It's the one leading from the hermit. And there you go. There's a path. There are 2 skeletons there. We fought them before. And so let's save. And we now should have the improved Claw of Beliar option. Life energy minus 35. And let's see what it can do. Goddamn, 96, which is quite far from 130 we could do with Orc Slayer. But it also has 24% chance of extra damage. And that extra damage could come in very useful. Like I said, it's a one-handed weapon if you're strongest in one-handed. So yeah, lucky us. Next time what we'll do, because we kind of finished everything there's needed to be done here, we'll do this. Let's find the map. All of Greg's treasure map in Jarkandar, and that'll be probably the last episode we do in this Let's Play in Jarkandar. Quite a few places to dig up and places to rummage through, but that's a very interesting way of you uncovering mysteries and secrets of this map, this land, and do some XP, experiment, and challenge yourself, and find some interesting tablets and potions and scrolls and all kinds of good goodies. Thanks for watching, dudes, and you take care. Have a great rest of the day. As always, see ya!